half of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and with inflation on the rise, many are struggling to keep up.
Yeah, on your side's Kristine Lazar joins us with financial tips on how to stretch your money when times are tight. Kristine.
Jamie and Sheba, by most accounts, wages have outpaced inflation, but not as much for lower and middle class Americans. I'm joined now by financial expert Lynn Richardson. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So what do we do when our wages are not keeping up with inflation and what we have to pay for the essentials like groceries and rent?
Well, the first thing is to recognize that you're not alone and you're not in the twilight zone. This is really happening, and it's really mathematics. 1 + 1 = 2. So if your stuff is adding up to 10, you've got to subtract. So we may need to substitute. If you're used to buying steak, maybe it's just a burger now. If you're used to having one thing for lunch or breakfast or dinner, you may need to adjust. You may need to substitute whole entire meals for a healthier protein item or something to that effect. So really start to look at, what do I need to nourish myself? And if it used to cost X amount of dollars, what can I do to keep nourishment but spend less money? When it comes to entertainment and subscriptions and some of those things, again, we need to really take a look at those things. What do I absolutely have to have? Do I need a gym membership, or can I go take a walk in the neighborhood, and so on and so forth? So really taking a look at every single thing and trying to subtract as many things as you can while still keeping that need met is really key.
So what budgeting tricks do you have when it comes to actually sitting down and looking at what you're spending?
Well, I still stick by the 10-10-30-50. I still think the first 10% you either reserve on the side for giving. If you have the capacity for that, the next 10% continue to save, because you will still always need money for something you want or something you need in the future. 30% is still for incidentals. That's things for groceries, gas, hair, or car wash, upgrade on your mobile device, or whatever it is that you may need, things that you actually need. And then 50% for your bills. And if you look at things in those pockets, it becomes more manageable. Some people advise that you take your whole check and pay all of your bills, but then how are you going to eat? So you've got to really start looking at those things, giving yourself some small rewards, but still remembering the mathematics to try to decrease those areas as much as you can.
Now, if you do look at your budget and you still realize I don't have enough to cover all of this, you have some tips on how to make some side money.
Absolutely. Everybody should have a home-based business. I'm talking everybody, because one stream of income is hazardous to your wealth. Nothing is safe anymore. Not a great government job, not a great teaching job. And so take a look at your skills, your passion, things that you're good at. Can you consult at something? Whether it be teaching, tutoring, hair, styling, everybody is good at something. How can you take the something that you're good at, find a need and meet that need, and add your price tag to it? So continue to look at ways to bring in additional income by any legal and ethical means necessary until you hit that extra income stream jackpot.
And there's some tax incentives to that as well if you create that home-based business.
Absolutely, because when you have a home-based business, now you get your money back. So we have to be looking at the long-term strategy. In the short term, I don't have enough money today. But if I do some things that impact me in the short term, they will also help me in the long term. So if I go out to eat for personal reasons, I don't get the money back. But if I start a home-based business and I go out to eat to discuss business, I do. If I drive for personal reasons, I don't get that money back. But if I drive to discuss my business or doing my business, then I get the money back as a tax refund. So every single penny counts, whether it's now, in 2 months, or in the future, and we need to track every single one of them.
All right, so we need to be crafty. That is the name of the game.
Very crafty, yes.
Lynn, thank you so much for joining us today. And for more information about Lynn and her financial tips, just check out our website, kcalnews.com, and click on Seen on TV.